Hey everybody, it's the Mad Master here. I'm just doing one more video for today. And this is on the subject of Tucker Carlson, or as certain right-wing figures like to call him, Cucker Carlson. So, this one is Tucker Carlson cannot have it both ways. One thing that Tucker Carlson was good at last year is attacking the hypocrisy of a lot of the responses to the crisis that we're in the United States since January 2020, or perhaps before, because anyways, before I get flagged again, I'm not going to go into that, but there's been a lot of serological evidence of previous, car transmissions, so to speak. So, as far as his rhetoric and Fox News' rhetoric now, you can see that it's changing back to partisan hackery and bullshit. Now, let me tell you why. Because for the past year plus, Tucker Carlson and others have been calling out lockdowns as destroying the economy, destroying small businesses, destroying even mid-sized businesses. 60% of businesses past year that have closed permanently, and so on and so forth. Now the rhetoric is changing to this Reaganite welfare state straw manning, just like regular right-wing talking points from the past 50 years plus. And that's really a problem because, for one, yeah, there's places that are not getting, there are places hiring, but if all these small businesses have closed and all these businesses have suffered from the crisis, how can you expect people to not have, take unemployment or stay on unemployment for a while? Plus, you have the media that scares people probably into these states of fear and not wanting to look for a job and stuff, like because of all the what Bill Maher has called panic porn. People, it's not my fault, it's not anybody's fault that people are sheep, okay, that they won't read scientific studies. Thank you, MIT, by the way, for giving me a compliment, that I read scientific studies. That they won't look into, I was just driving down the street and people are still bike riding alone with a mask on. Come on, if the cat is even saying that that's not necessary, then it's just really ridiculous. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So expecting people to, all of a sudden get a job after all this shit is pretty unrealistic and unfair, in my opinion. Especially when jobs, the economy's getting better, but it's certainly not where it was even, at the end of Trump's reign, as far as, January 2020 and before, or March 2020 and before. The economy was doing pretty well. But where are there are jobs, there needs to be more jobs, there needs to be more businesses opening or reopening. So you got these fucking states that are still half locked down. What do you expect people just to, busk on the street? Busk, with guitar, acoustic guitar or whatever. It's like, you can't really, you can't really expect people to not be on the unemployment rate is high, is my point. And it's not just high because people are lazy and don't want to get a job. So Fox News can go fucking suck it, you know what I mean? Because that's just bullshit. It's not what the reality is on the ground. You got states that still have all these restrictions, so they can't hire more people because you have capacity limits of, or whatever. It's like, well, we can't hire, where a business is struggling as it is. How are you going to hire people if you can't even have more than a certain amount of people in your building? How are you going to hire people if you had to do all this shit just to keep your business afloat for the past year? Nobody fucking helped because these neoliberals and all these Republicans did not give a shit. They did not give a shit. Regardless if you're alarmist about the crisis, let's say you're a triple, quadruple masker, but at least you supported UBI. If you wanted a lockdown, then I have no beef with you. But these people that are fucking expecting shit to be, change overnight with unemployment, like, oh my God, these lazy people, oh my God, yeah, I'm sure there's a portion of people that are committing fraud. I'm sure there's a proportion of people that are not looking for a job and stuff because they're just used to be on unemployment. I mean, I was one of them in 2010, I'll tell you that, but it's like, it's just so ridiculous. And these people, they're jumping the shark. They had good points before about lockdowns and certain ways that they were doing these lockdowns and stuff, but now they're just like completely back to predictability. Fox News and all these outlets just going back to the 90s, 2000s, 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s bullshit that they were peddling before. And it's sad because you want some consistency from people. You want consistency from someone. Tucker Carlson says something rational and sane and honest, then you want him to follow it up with something rational, sane, and honest, not some bullshit like that. But that's about all.